Now, aging is another cause, especially when we become elderly, for experiencing depression. When we are elderly, lots of reasons for it. One is we're having changes that are happening to the structure of our brains. Our ability to handle situations is not as strong. Our cognitive processes are not always as strong. We experience more difficulty with the deep limbic system, which causes us to feel the depression. We also lose our social structure around us. Our friends are dying. We lose more people, so we don't have the support that we need. Also causes people to experience more depression. We don't get the exercise we need, and it's really important, even the elderly, to get exercise, and we don't stress that in our society. But they also need exercise, and so oftentimes they don't get the exercise, leading to less circulation in the brain, adding to a feeling of depression, isolating themselves more and pulling back in. Another problem for the elderly with depression is that they lose their place in society. We have a society, again, that puts people aside. When they get older, we focus more on youth, and we're more youth-oriented, and we put more value on that. And so as people get older, they find themselves being valued less by society and valued less in many ways by their families. Now, these are the people that are the keepers of history. These are the people that are the keepers of our experiences in life. And these are the people that were part of the foundations of our beginnings in life. And yet now what we've done is we put them to the side. So these people begin to feel they have no place, leading to more depression. If you don't have a connection to society, if you don't have a connection to your family, if you don't see your place and feel like you contribute something of value, you're going to slip into depression. And that happens with the elderly. People with ADHD also suffer a higher incidence of clinical depression. And it comes from, most likely, it comes from a disruption in their social interactions. They tend to be more impulsive, tend to have more difficulty holding a conversation or being able to focus. So this causes them some social tension and distraction. And they experience depression from this. So you'll find higher incidence of depression. Oftentimes, if they're diagnosed with ADHD, you need to look for a form of depression as well. Is that lurking there too? Now, people who also sustained abuse in childhood or neglect in childhood also suffer a higher incidence of depression than the general population. What happens when we experience neglect or abuse is that the deep limbic system inside the brain begins to slow down. It doesn't allow itself to be as enriched. When we have experiences of being loved and soothed, and we have experiences of wonder and excitement, it helps to make the brain more enriched. It helps to create more connections and with more synapses inside the brain. It becomes more dense. When we have experiences of fear, of abuse, of neglect, of reaching out but nothing coming back to us, the brain tends to start creating these disconnects, and we start having fewer and fewer synapse connections. That also occurs in the deep limbic system for people who have sustained abuse, and what happens is they have less resource to overcoming feelings of depression, and they begin to feel more depressed. They begin to feel less worthy. Aside from all the social aspect of it, just the organic part of it, they intrinsically feel less than and have kind of a physical experience with it. And it's very difficult for these people to get over depression. Actually, babies, when they're newborns, if they get no response at all from a caregiver and they're left to just cry, they will later on in life develop what's called anaclitic depression. And it is a pervasive depression that seems to have there's no way to fix it for them. They constantly feel this depression and can't put their finger on it. So very much so, our early years are very formative for us when it comes to our experience of depression. We need to feel secure and loved. Otherwise, later in life, we suffer from depression. For more information on depression, you can go onto my website at LAtherapist.com, and for self-help, you can check out my other website, which is hypnocd.com. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.